Hey everybody, my name is Suke. Welcome to Lead Guitar Workshop, and I want to give you a quick tip on how to kind of make your way around the guitar with a little less brain fatigue. I call this above, across, and behind. For all the years I was studying guitar and trying to figure out all these different patterns and shapes, my brain would just get cooked. And especially I was looking at like Triad arpeggios, and there was multiple patterns and they just were all over the place, and it was so hard to keep track of. And I realized, like, as a musician, like, what are we really doing? It's 3 notes. Well, how many different looks do they present to you? So really, the answer is about 3. So let's take a little look at what I'm talking about. So if I said C major, let's just take the notes of C major and let's put them on one string. So if I have C, I go up 2 whole steps to the E, and then I go up 3 half steps to the G. So that's how you put them on one string, right? Cool. Good for certain things, but usually you don't play them all on one string unless you're doing a lot of sliding or 2-hand stuff. So what I realized is we take that G note and we bring it back to the previous string. Then I get what's called the above shape. And what I mean by that is this is my C root. Everything I'm doing is going to happen above the fretboard. So the E is above it and the G. I'll even give you a couple tips of why I might use these different shapes for different reasons. So this is what I call above. Again, the information is above the root. Across is now if we took that E on the 12th fret and moved it to the 7th fret of the A string, then I get C, E with E and G on the A string. Now I call this the across because the middle finger, it's looking across because I have notes behind it and above it. So that's what I call across, is when they kind of fan out on either way from the root note. Then if I keep the E but take that G that I moved initially and move it again to the D string, that's what I call behind. They all go behind the root. Now, what ends up happening is they start overlapping with the other ones. So if you can see the C, you can do those 3 shapes and you'll cover your entire fretboard. You just got to adhere for the B string. So for instance, if I'm down on this C down here, I can do the above, the across, or behind, which uses the open G string. Back there. Now, what would I use these for? There's 3 distinct reasons I would pick one of the other. The first one, the above, you probably saw me earlier stretching like this. A lot of players don't like to reach up with their pinky or have to really open their hand up like that. I mean, I think it's cool and you should be able to do that. You won't see Clapton doing this, you won't see Stevie Ray doing this, you know, or even Hendrix, really. What they would do is they would slide. It's really conducive for that. Even if you adjusted it to minor, it still works. The one across, this is the one I see that people repeat a lot. It's easy to play in your hand. You know, whether you're doing up high for Hotel California kind of stuff, Sultans of Swing or whatever. That's the one I see when people repeat these things. And also behind is the only one that would have all 3 on different strings. So you could actually play it like a chord. This above, across, and behind, again, just my slang term for how it was easier to keep track of. If we only had to play 3 notes, it's easier to do that from any of the C's than to completely map the fretboard with all these changing shapes to adhere to this pattern-based thing that guitar players, we get stuck in. Scales do this. Now scales you can drive in multiple ways, and I don't categorize each one, but I still take the same approach. So for instance, if I did a C major, I could do that above. Some people look at that as like when they start the 3 note per string idea, but really it's just how you distribute the notes. The across version is more of a traditional one. And then behind, same idea. Now these are all the same notes, even though I'm moving different places. This is the tuning thing that riddles the guitar. I have another video about an idea that Pat Martino showed me to how to understand this kind of redundant nature on the guitar. It's linked here for you. So this made sense of stuff, because so often you're looking at something and you're like, what's the pattern behind it? You just have to remember that it's the same notes going in different directions. You have to kind of understand the tuning, the 5th fret idea, meaning that this C on the 3rd fret is also on the 8th fret up here. If I go, let's do it backwards even. So from this C on 15, you take away 5 and go down, it's on 10 again. Take away 5, it's on the 5th fret. You only take away 4 because you're going to the B string, and now I'm on the 1st fret. So any one of those I can do basically above, across, and behind until I run out of space. Like this C down here, I can do the above, I can do across, but I can't do the behind. I don't have a note back here. So there's limits to this kind of stuff. But it really freed me up to take a very familiar look and move it around the neck without having to, again, remap out like new districts to make the way over the same notes. So I call this above, across, and behind. I do it a lot when I teach. And I do it a lot in my books. If you got my arpeggio book, there's a whole section on this. Anything you play with more than 3 notes. Arpeggios, pentatonics, 7-note scales, just any idea, you can move it at least in a general way in 3 ways. Above, across, and behind. There's more, of course, in between those. All right, my name is Suke, Lead Guitar Workshop. I hope that helped a little bit when you're playing. We do a lot of this stuff in the 6-string community. Head to 6stringcommunity.com and you can sign up there and join. I do live classes every week, 2 if not 3. There's open office hours. My digital library is up there. I bring over even the YouTube videos, the backing tracks and stuff without the ads and stuff. They're all inside there too. But it's a great community. We have a lot of good folks in there, and I would love to have you part of it. So again, you can go to leadguitarworkshop.com or 6stringcommunity.com. And otherwise, I'll see you guys out there because we'll all keep playing, right?